What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Style/4Life, coming at you tonight on YouTube. And tonight I've got some football focus for you guys. I'm once again covering my Pittsburgh Steelers in the National Football League 2016-2017 season. And this was the Week 4 game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and this was quite a fun bounce-back game to watch. It is a good night to be a Steeler fan here in Week 4 of this 16/17 season. Real quick for you guys, I just jotted down a couple of quick notes. I'm not going to make this a long video. It's midnight in Pittsburgh. I'm pretty tired out after a long week. But just to commend the Steelers on bouncing back. They started off 2-0 this season, lost really bad, got shellacked last week by the Eagles, and they were calling this the redemption game. They wanted to make this the week to redeem themselves and come back strong. And they did, both on offense and defense. They got up big and never looked back. The game was never in doubt. The game was over right away. It was 22-0 at the end of the first quarter. Yeah, by the end of period one, it was 22-0. The halftime score was 29-0. It was pretty much the perfect Steeler first half, and that carried over as well. The final score, the Steelers won 43-14. And I didn't write down any direct stats or anything. It's not going to be one of those sports science videos or anything. No direct stats. But on offense, Pittsburgh was fire-powered. Le'Veon Bell has finally returned after his 3-game suspension, and he was as good as advertised. He was amazing. He came back very strong. They split him out wide, did a lot of receiver stuff with him. Overall, he finished with, I believe, almost 150 in total yardage. I think he had about 145 rushing and another 35 yards receiving. So finished with nearly 150 on the ground and another 30 or so through the air. So almost 180 total on the day. D'Angelo Williams did some nice stuff blocking and carrying the ball in relief as well. Ben Roethlisberger finished, I think he only had like 6 incomplete passes the entire game. His passer rating was near perfect. Finished with 299 yards, 5 touchdowns, no turnovers. So near perfect game. Had almost as few incompletions as he had touchdown passes. So Ben played the perfect game, made almost no mistakes at all. Antonio Brown finished with about 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. One short one early on in the game, and then one long one. The game started off with Sammy Coates catching a long ball. That's his 5th catch now of over 40 yards so far this season. That was in the first quarter of the game. So in the first 13 quarters of this NFL season, he's caught 5 balls now over 40 yards. So Sammy Coates is, in my opinion, the best deep ball option in the NFL. He showed out once again. He had the best game of his NFL career so far this year. Eli Rogers was not playing tonight, so it was up to the other receivers to pick the slack up. And once again, they did. Right away, you saw Darius Hayward-Bay caught a deep touchdown, which was the first touchdown of the game. Then we got a 2-point conversion to make it 8-0. Antonio Brown gets a short touchdown after a turnover, and then Marcus Whedon caught the next one. So it was just receivers raining down touchdowns on these guys. Lots of deep plays. Again, Antonio Brown, 2 touchdowns. Marcus Whedon caught a deep touchdown. Darius Hayward-Bay caught a deep touchdown. Jesse James caught a touchdown as well. So the offense just ran through the poor Kansas City defense, who was getting beat on bad. On defense as well, Pittsburgh looked really good also. Right away, first series, they got a sack. They only had 1 sack all year so far through the first 3 games. They got a sack right away on the first series of this game by Cam Hayward. They finished the game, I think, with 4 sacks today. So already quadrupling their total for the season. So big day for them. Cam Hayward had 2 of those 4 sacks, so he had a big game as well. Also batted a ball in the first quarter, which got intercepted by Jarvis Jones. So big play for Jarvis Jones, and Cam with 2 sacks and the batted ball. Jarvis Jones did get injured toward the end of the game. We're not sure yet if he was not brought back because the game was already finished. He had no reason to come back, or if he legitimately got hurt. So we'll see. We already played this game without Robert Golden, our safety, and without linebacker leader Ryan Shazier. So a lot of injuries for Pittsburgh. That is the one negative to this 3-1 start so far for the season. Lots of injuries. But, again, Lawrence Timmons played an excellent game. Lots of good tackles. Jarvis Jones, when he was out there, made a ton of tackles, filled in for Shazier nicely, got the interception. Hayward played good. Stephon Tuitt forced a fumble. I believe might have had a sack as well. So he made a couple of plays off the edge. A couple of names that I wrote down here as important. Vince Williams also filling in at linebacker. that guy is all over the field as well. He's a hard hitter. He's quick for his size, deceptively agile and fast, and made a lot of plays. So Vince Williams stood out here as well. And Jordan Dangerfield, he actually played safety tonight. He started for the first time at safety. I thought Sean Davis was going to start, the rookie draft pick this year for us, in place of Robert Golden, but actually they started Jordan Dangerfield, much to my puzzling, head-scratching feeling. But he played very well. He was a hard hitter. He was flying around, much like Mike Mitchell. He fit the system well, and he didn't make any major mistakes. He was a very solid player tonight, so good for him. Another guy starting for the first time in his career was B.J. Finney on the offensive line, filling in for a couple injured guys. And Finney played well. He didn't, no penalties, didn't blow any assignments, didn't give up any sacks on his side, and did some pulling and stuff as well. So B.J. Finney played and filled in admirably also. So, all in all, every phase of the game, Kansas City didn't even score until the fourth quarter. The game was 29-0, I believe, 29-0 or so going into the fourth quarter. Kansas City and Pittsburgh both scored a couple touchdowns in the fourth whenever the game was already finished. So in all phases of the game, the Steelers played excellently. Even Artie Burns, who had a couple penalties early, had a couple good series in there, had a few good pass deflections and breakups. So he had a few good things to look at as well in this. So again, on offense, Ben was perfect. Le'Veon Bell came back just as good as he left. All the receivers, every single receiver made plays today. Marcus Whedon had a nice bounce-back game. Sammy Coates is the real deal. That guy's going to be a major threat. Jesse James, Xavier Grimble had a couple catches. He's a super athletic backup tight end. He's going to be a factor this season. And again, that's without Martavis Bryant playing this year, and that's without Ladarius Green playing for us, who was going to be our starting tight end, and that's without Eli Rogers tonight too. So despite the fact that our offense was missing several guys and a couple other guys got hurt during the game, we still easily put up 43 points and won this game. So we're on to the Jets next week. What did you guys think of the game? Who did you think stood out to you? Who do you think was the player of the game? I got to give it to Ben. Almost 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Got to give it to Ben there. But Le'Veon Bell with 180 total yardage. Big bounce back for him as well. So, again, tell me below what you guys thought of this game. And do you guys want to see more of these football-focused Steelers segments? So, I'll be coming at you guys again this week with my my rankings for the top 10 power rankings for the NFL this week. And, again, I will see you guys soon. So, this has been Football Focus, and go Steelers.